What if I told you that the biggest secret of the Bermuda Triangle isn't the Bermuda Triangle itself? What if all the disappearance stories were more of a media-created myth than a scientific truth? Today, we're going to expose the biggest lie they told us about this region.
Let's embark on a journey into the mysterious world of the Bermuda Triangle, a region that has captivated attention for years. This enigmatic triangle encompasses the areas connecting Miami and Florida, the legendary island of Bermuda, and San Juan, the colorful capital of Puerto Rico. The story of this region dates back to 1492, when Christopher Columbus set sail towards these uncharted waters with his ships. To understand Columbus's state of mind during that time, we can take a look at his diary, where he recorded his daily experiences and events. These valuable writings have since been turned into a book and translated into various languages, allowing anyone to travel into the world of his adventures through reading. He wrote that when we arrived in this strange area, our compasses began to act strangely. Despite the true direction being west, the needles kept pointing northwest. It was as if a mysterious force was at play. Columbus noted in his journals, "In these waters, a mysterious light appears on the horizon. The closer we get to it, the farther it retreats, and suddenly it disappears, as if it never existed." He never mentioned the name triangle, but these limited observations became the first traces of the mystery of this area. To find the next clue, we must jump forward in time by 114 years, to the year 1606. The English ship Sea Venture, with 150 passengers, suddenly found itself caught in an unprecedented storm while on its way to America, a storm that formed precisely in this triangular area and sank the ship. Although storms at sea are a natural occurrence, European sailors, steeped in superstitions in the 17th century, named this area cursed. The Spaniards called it the Devil of the Sea, and thus the legend of the Bermuda Triangle was born. At that time, things were not like today, where travel was frequent and news spread quickly around the world. For this reason, after a while, this triangle was forgotten, and for 175 years, no one mentioned it until we reached the year 1881. In this year, an English ship entered this triangle and was heading northwest towards New York. The passengers on this ship recount their experience. "We saw a ship that was adrift in the water and not moving. Therefore, our ship went towards it to see what was happening. When they got closer, they realized there was no one on board. Some of the passengers disembarked and headed toward the ship. Meanwhile, a storm broke out and the two ships lost sight of each other. The next day, when they were looking for those people again, they found the ship, but those individuals were not on it. It was empty once more. We don't know, perhaps it was just a tale or something else, but someone had written down this story on the ship. This story made the Bermuda Triangle famous worldwide, and when something becomes famous, many stories start to emerge around it. Then we arrive at February 1918, when one of the United States Navy ships, named USS Cyclops, was heading north from South America and entered this triangle. This ship had 300 personnel on board, and no one knows what happened to it. It suddenly disappeared, and no trace of it was found. More than 100 years have passed since that date, yet no sign of USS Cyclops has been discovered, not even a piece of wood or a corpse. The news of this topic created such a storm around the world that the Bermuda Triangle became a global phenomenon, with everyone talking about this mysterious area. Dozens of books and articles were written about it, and people began to spin stories. For example, tales emerged claiming that sea monsters had devoured ships along with their passengers. These stories proliferated significantly until we reached the year 1941. In that year, another ship from the U.S. Navy named USS Proteus entered this triangle with 58 personnel on board and disappeared. A month later, another vessel with 61 passengers also vanished. In 1945, dozens of World War II aircraft took off from a U.S. Air Force base in Florida for aerial exercises, scheduled to return to their base after 3 hours. These planes entered the Bermuda Triangle and were conducting their training, but all of them, along with their pilots, disappeared without a trace. We reached the year 1948 when another military aircraft from the U.S. carrying 26 people suddenly vanished. In total, up to the present day, there have been 70 reported incidents in this area, and the Bermuda Triangle has become a complex mystery that many people around the world discuss, leaving everyone astonished by these events. It's worth noting that the term Bermuda Triangle was coined in 1964, describing the area where all these incidents occurred, roughly between Miami, Bermuda, and San Juan. Once this name was assigned to the region, it became even more mysterious and famous. Given the level of notoriety it gained, individuals emerged seeking to profit from it, such as Charles Berlitz, who wrote a book about the Bermuda Triangle in 1974. This book made the Bermuda Triangle known even among elementary school children. The author became a millionaire as within a few years, 20 million copies of the book were sold and it was translated into 30 different languages, leading to substantial wealth for Charles Berlitz. Even though readers of this book knew the stories were fictional and fabricated, they still enjoyed them. There's a clear reason for this. Humans have always been fascinated by mysteries and eerie phenomena, and these illusions and legends provide a unique thrill. Alongside these fantastical elements, a group of scientists became curious about the truths behind these tales. Were there unusual geological faults in this area? Did the ocean here differ from other parts of the world? Thus, research began. One of the first mysteries was easily solved: storms. Researchers discovered that the Bermuda Triangle lies near the Gulf of Mexico, where the most intense storms frequently pass through. These storms also provided another answer: the disappearance of airplanes. When a storm hits this region, not only do the waters become violently turbulent, but the atmosphere above also becomes unstable. As a result, planes are easily caught in devastating winds reaching hundreds of kilometers per hour and crash. The power of these storms is so immense that they can completely shatter ships and planes or even reduce them to dust, just as had happened in the past, since no wreckage was ever found. Scientists reached these initial conclusions, but this wasn't the end of their inquiry. They wanted to know more. In the next step, they scrutinized all global air and maritime accidents to determine which regions had the most incidents. After examining historical data, they realized that, compared to other parts of the world, the Bermuda Triangle is not a particularly dangerous area at all. In fact, it doesn't even rank among the top 10 most hazardous maritime zones in the world. These findings proved that the terrifying legends surrounding the Bermuda Triangle were baseless and exaggerated. Over the past 200 years, only about 50 planes, 20 ships, and hundreds of people have been lost in this region, but it's important to note that this statistic spans to centuries, not just a decade or even a century. Historically, such incidents are entirely normal for that time frame. What's more, many of these ships and planes were military, which complicates the matter further. For example, in 1918, when the USS Cyclops vanished, was it due to a German submarine attack or a massive storm? Today, the most dangerous maritime region in the world is the South China Sea. Heavy ship traffic and volatile weather conditions have led to over 200 shipwrecks in just the past decade, yet no one calls this area a mysterious triangle or the Philippine Square because times have changed. Advanced technology and precise instruments now make everything transparent, and it's no longer easy to spin conspiracy theories, write books, and become a millionaire. Another interesting point is that in the last 10 years, only one major incident has occurred in the Bermuda Triangle. In 2015, the American container ship SS El Faro entered the area and was caught in a severe storm. The ship sinks and all 33 crew members perish. However, after the storm passes, the wreckage of the ship is found, but the bodies of the crew are never recovered. Nowadays, such incidents rarely happen because ships are equipped with advanced technology like weather satellites, radar, high-precision compasses, and other modern navigation systems. Unlike in the past, when ships might accidentally sail straight into a storm, the area is now become safer. Yet, the name Bermuda Triangle still remains as a symbol of mystery and danger. In contrast, the South China Sea sees many accidents due to heavy maritime traffic and unpredictable weather, which not only causes shipwrecks but also leads to collisions. There's also an interesting conspiracy theory. Some believe that during the Cold War, the CIA deliberately portrayed this region as mysterious and dangerous to instill fear. According to this claim, neither U.S. military planes nor naval ships actually disappeared. It was all just fabricated stories to create hype. And so, the legend of the Bermuda Triangle was born. I hope you now understand how these stories spread and became so famous.
Now that you know these secrets of the Bermuda Triangle, you are among the few who know the truth. But one important question, are you ready to uncover the next secret? If yes, hit the subscribe bell button right now, because the next confidential information will only be sent to premium members. Otherwise, you might miss the next mystery. What do you think is the biggest lie they told about the Bermuda Triangle? Write your opinion. If you had to give the Bermuda Triangle a new name, what would it be?